Hi folks, welcome back to the Hoard. So we got this whole beautiful day thing going on here, and I upgraded my clock. I hope you're all impressed. So it'd be nice if I could read it, but so it's about 2 o'clock. It is 63.1 degrees in here, 32% humidity, and I can even flip the switch. And 17.4 centigrade. Do it all on one clock now. As you guys can see, my battery's all charged, the Energizer in the back there, so aren't we having a happy day? I want to get a rear end into that 185 that I picked up at the junkyard, so to speak. And I just want to show you the kind of trouble you run into, especially for the people who like to run their bikes underwater. If you get the rear ends all wet and then you let them store that way so that everything seizes up, the kind of trouble you get into. First of all, I'm taking this rear end off, right? That goes through like that. And what happens is you try to spin it out, you tear the welded nut off of this. So that's problem number one. Problem number two, there should be a brake hub here, but you could see I'm trying to get the brake hub off. I took a look at a bunch of YouTube videos, and it was interesting. For them, all they had to do was undo these two bolts and this brake drum would slide right off. For me, I undid those two bolts and that brake drum wasn't coming off for love nor money. So I started to cut this, figuring I'd relieve the pressure and it would slide off. Still won't come off. I'm not sure how these rear ends go together, given that I've seen on videos the brake drum sliding off. I would picture one slides that off and then you slide the axle right out and you're in there and you're all good. Problem with this one is it won't come apart no matter which way I try it. You can see I even put a pipe over, call that the great ramming pipe, and that kind of allows you to do this action, right? Slam, slam, in hopes of sliding this way. So I tried it like that, and then I put the pipe on the other end, turned it over, went slam, slam, in hopes of getting this off. No luck. It won't come off for love nor money. It's like on there forever. Those guys who have been with me for a while, this is the rear end that came from that fussy guy in New Jersey. I bought a motor from him and a few other parts, plastic I think, a motor and some assorted trivia. So that won't come, this one won't come apart. Why do I want to take this one apart? I'd really like to get the axle out of it and the sprocket, right? The rest of it I really don't need, and I could put that into this housing, right? And then all is good. Here you can see the way the nuts are welded on here. So that's my desire, but I'm not succeeding at it. This one, the bearings are actually in pretty decent shape. So literally it's just a matter of sliding an axle into it. I got the drum. I don't know what condition the brake shoes are in. If the drum's in there, considering how much movement I'm getting, I don't think the brake shoes are in very good shape. Yeah, the drum's in here. It's right here. So building a rear end is not going very well. This is another rear end from the Hoard. When you break it loose, when you break that bolt loose, here's what happens. Put my wrench away. Been trying to do more of that lately. I need 17, 16, 17. Here's what happens when you break the bolt loose, right? You can turn it forever and ever and ever, and it never comes undone. The only thing you could do is cut it off. In this case, the guy cut the frame. So he broke this one off too. Right, you can see there's no bolt here. When you're looking to buy a used rear end, you got to make sure these 4 bolts are good. And quite honestly, given how much trouble it is to rebuild them, you really should make sure the rear end is just good in general. This rear end, other than the broken bolts, is actually in good shape. This rear end, I think, once again, you look at those bolt holes. Yeah, it looks like that's all complete. I'm not sure why brakes don't feel too bad, but it's seized up. Now, is it seized up because water got in here and screwed the shoes up? Feels like the shoes are locked. I'm not moving them. I don't know if you guys could see through the hole. The shoes aren't moving. So chances are the shoes are stuck to the drum. But as one could see from this guy, I don't always have very good luck getting the drums apart. This one is good. This rear end's good. I can actually slam it in. This one is locked. That's very stiff. So chances are the shoes are stuck. My hoard outside, I picked up these bikes from Stony. One of these is a 185. This one, you could kind of tell it has the hump back here. That makes it a 185. That's just, I do have some play. I don't have any. This guy, less play. This rear end might be okay. I'm not sure what this is from though. I don't recognize the way this is built back here. It is interesting cruising around the hoard and looking for, like, going through my hoard of rear axles, because I discovered a rear end and swing arm for a TRX 200 SX. That frame I have below. Now I have the frame, and I have a swing arm and a rear end. So at this moment, I'm still kind of glad I haven't cut it up yet. That frame is becoming more and more complete, right? The engine's going to go on the golf cart, but I think yet there's still another engine floating around the hoard. I already put up a video for today announcing my garage sale. There's another rear end sitting over there. Boy, they're like multiplying, and not one of them's worth a hoot. Anyway, so take a look at what there is for sale. Unfortunately, for those overseas or much more than a couple of 100 miles from the house, it really doesn't pay for you guys to buy much, because transporting this crap overseas could be in the thousands. Transporting it across the United States could be in the several hundreds, and more or less would double, if not triple, the price of whatever you paid for stuff. So it really just doesn't pay to get involved unless you can more or less drive here, unless you're on the East Coast, somewhere between. I typically travel. I've been as far up as just shy of New Hampshire, but I'll hit Rhode Island, New Hampshire if I'm tracking down a good deal. So I personally, I'll get up that far for the right deal. I've been as far, well, now that my son is in Pennsylvania, I've been as I've cruised not all of Pennsylvania, but if I'm making a trip for a bike, I guess 2 hours, 2 hours and a half, not much more than that. Even though I have the new truck, it's just, you know, it's getting to the point where unless you're picking up something for almost for free, it's costing you hundreds of dollars worth of transport, right? Though for some of you folks in the more rural areas, upstate New York or Pennsylvania or whatever, you might not have the volume of stuff available to pick up. So, and perhaps you're used to driving a little more than I am, so you don't mind driving all those hours. Anyway, folks, I'm open to suggestions. I took a look on YouTube for, is there a better way of doing this? And Tom Martin did a brake job, but he's the guy who, when he took these bolts off, this slid right out on him, so there was no big deal for him to do it. Somebody else did bearings, and they left the carrier right on the bike, and once again took apart the brake side and slid the axle right out, so they didn't have any trouble. I seem to be having a lot of trouble. Maybe it's just me. The way these rear ends go, by the way, you have, let's start over here, right? Obviously you have two bolts, an end cap, this drum. You slide the drum out, there's a spacer that goes in. You have bearing, actually, so two bolts, drum, bearing, spacer, bearing, and then whatever's holding it on the far side, right? I guess, or I think, what won't slide out is that spacer is probably rust welded to the axle shaft. That's why it won't slide out, and that's why I'm not having any luck taking this, particularly this one rear end apart. Where to go? Right here. The real redneck thing to do, and if I really get desperate, I'm just going to say this casing is no good, and at that point you just cut it off, get this chain guard off and all, and just cut it the entire length on both sides. Really easy to do, by the way. If you have a plasma cutter, it makes life a hell of a lot easier. Just cut it in half, clean up the axle. You got the axle, you got the side where you put your sprocket on, and then put that on here. That is one way around it, is to just say screw it, and just literally cut it into little pieces. And I'm not quite, well, actually I am to that point with this. I don't think there's anything else I could do, but I'm not ready to invest the time at this moment. Though maybe I should just say screw it and cut the hell out of it. I don't know. Am I feeling destructive? One other comment. Been wearing these eye shields, and this is all tight against my nose and face. That's tight on my forehead, and there's a slight gap back here on both sides, but I've run my fingers completely around and looked in the mirror completely around, and I'm all tight. Yeah, when I'm grinding, I'm still getting crap in my eyes. I'm like, yo, how am I doing this? I might have to double invest, where put these on and put on a face shield too, because I don't know if any of you guys have been to the doctor to get stuff removed from your eye, the eye doctor. It just ain't fun. Just quickly, he sits you down and props your head up against the scope and all that, and he puts stuff in there to dilate it and to numb your eye. And then he uses a Q-tip to get it out. If it's made out of metal, something with iron in it, he then scrubs your eyeball, because iron is not good for your eyeball. It could cause ulcers in the cornea. So then he scrubs the hell out of your eyeball, and then he smiles and gives you some drops that hopefully lessen the pain, and he sends you on your way. Let me give you a hint. when he scrubs your eyeball with a Q-tip swab, once the pain medicine works off, your eye hurts like hell, like somebody just sanded it with a Q-tip swab. And then, I mean, as soon as the pain medicine for the eye, it's actually, once again, right, you drip it right into the eye drops. Once that stuff wears off, it's like somebody sandpapered your eye, and it's like very digital. It's kind of like you go, is it wearing off? And next thing you know, you're like, oh God, my eye's killing me. And it's hard to get the eye drops in once your eye starts hurting like hell. So once you start thinking it's wearing off, you got to get the eye drops in. So eye protection. I'm thinking of getting some skiing goggles. Maybe, I don't know. My problem is without glasses on, I can't see anything. I mean, like, you know, get me a seeing eye dog playing blind man's bluff. So I kind of need to wear the glasses. So, and whatever I put on over them, I need to be able to see through. Obviously, I got to upgrade here somehow. I can't afford to lose an eye in this operation. All right, folks, I want to thank you for watching and commenting and subscribing. 231, sorry for the long video, but we got you some subscribers, so what the heck. Remember to keep your feet down, keep your head up. Go watch each other's channels. You know, don't forget to get out there. And go visit my friend Terry, WTBM. I haven't gave him a shout out in a while. Go visit his channel. Go torment him. Once again, folks, thanks for watching, commenting, and subscribing. And enjoy all your days. Bye now.